is how coaches recruit you. The question is, what are all the tools coaches use to find you? I broke it down into about 6 categories of what coaches use to find their student athletes. Number one, databases. So this is online software programs that provide lists of athletes from all over the world. They can sort them into position, size and weight, location, GPA, pretty much everything. So I've provided some examples below. You can check them out for yourself. Another tool coaches use to recruit are agents or consultants. There's a couple companies, there's a lot of people out there that do this. This becomes a little dicey at times. It can affect your amateurism, but relationships are really how you get a scholarship, and they can be beneficial. Third thing is recommendations. So this is kind of like those consultants, but these can be high school coaches. These can be friends. These can be scouts, they can be acquaintances, anything like that. Also use the email and phone quite a bit. So when I talk about building that relationship, how do you build that in the digital age today? Well, it's visits, it's in person, but it's also on the phone. It is calling recruits, asking them questions, receiving phone calls. It is emailing out recruits, having an email list of recruits to send updates to email them, to communicate back and forth with recruits. So phone calls, emails, direct messages, are a really big important part of their day. Another way are camps or showcases, combines. So these can be school hosted, these can be privately hosted. A great way to find recruits because there are a plethora of recruits wanting to get to the next level. And it's a good place to compare them. It's a good place to find needles in the haystack. The last way I say is in person. So this is coming to your game, coming to a tournament, asking you for a visit, meeting with you on campus, coming to your house. So we went over some of the tools they use. And why do they use those tools to get recruits? Well, they're building a recruiting funnel. So from a coach's side, it's a pretty competitive atmosphere recruiting, right? You want the best kids, and so does the team next to you. So you want to build a stockpile of athletes, of recruits. So what you're going to do first is you're going to identify them. So this is going to those coaches, going through the databases, emailing, calling. This is everything to first introduce an athlete and build that relationship. Second is evaluation. So once you kind of have that relationship built with an athlete, what they do next is evaluate you. So are you good enough to play at the level? Do you have projection? What are your skill levels? If you don't have what they're looking for, they're probably going to move on from you at this point. If they do have what you're looking for, you're probably going to go into the next stage of the funnel, and this is the comparison side. They're going to compare you versus other athletes. You've already built a relationship with them. They've already evaluated you, saying that, you know what, this could be a potential recruit. Now you have to compete against others who have fit your exact profile in that recruit. So they may have one person that's like you, or they may have 15 that are just like you. So they got to start comparing on who's going to be the best fit for that program. And this is where your GPA can come into play. This is where you as a person can come into play. This is where your relationship can come into play. This is where you can mess things up and have a bad social media account. It's important to make sure that you're the best you can be in all aspects, because comparison-wise, it'll put you ahead of the next guy. So that fourth stage, and they're going to make their offers to the recruits they want to sign and take away from that recruiting pool. This is where you're going to find that negotiation phase with your school, and where they're going to ask for verbals, and where they'll even ask you to sign the letter of intent. So that's kind of the recruiting funnel. A cool fact I found was NCAA Division I top football programs send 10,000 recruiting materials to high school students to fill 25 spots. So that's how the funnel is built, from 10,000 all the way down to 25. So your goal is to get to the bottom of that funnel.